morning on a Tuesday, where we have the big Norfolk job hunt, where we share the latest in vacancies in the county. And today, it's a whole host of paid roles at Voluntary Norfolk. Alan Hopley is their CEO, joining us live on the show. Morning, Alan. Are you well?
I am. Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you very much, and thank you for this opportunity to be on your show. So thank you.
No, you are more than welcome. The more the merrier. Now, you'd forgive people for thinking that working in Voluntary Norfolk would, in itself, be voluntary positions only. But that's not the case here, is it today?
No, absolutely. Though we have many voluntary opportunities, we also have a wide range of employed, paid-for roles as well within Voluntary Norfolk. So we provide a number of services, be it employment and skills services for people across Norfolk. But we have paid roles within that in terms of skills connectors and chances advocates. We also have paid roles within our support for carers, family carers. We also have paid roles within our social and isolation services. So we have quite a range of paid positions that are vacant, and we're very keen for people to come forward. But we also promote job opportunities across the whole of the voluntary sector as well through our website. So we have roles within Voluntary Norfolk, and we also have other roles, paid roles, across the voluntary sector. So we're encouraging people to come forward to look at our website, Voluntary Norfolk website, so they can see those opportunities. We're really keen to get people to come forward, because there's a lot of services out there need people to come forward to help deliver those services to people in need across Norfolk.
And I guess working in the volunteer sector is quite different to any other sector. It is, although getting paid for some roles, quite a vocational profession to move into, a sector especially. What can you get from it? Obviously, there isn't payment. You get more from it.
I think people who join the voluntary sector don't want to leave the voluntary sector. You're doing something I believe gives you a real passion. It gives you a real sense of achievement. You know you're changing people's lives. You're making a real difference to families, communities, individuals. So I'm not saying it's not demanding at times, because you're dealing with challenging issues, but the sense of purpose, the sense of value, the sense of doing something that makes a real difference is huge. And that's why I've been doing it for many, many years, and why many people in Voluntary Norfolk and across the voluntary sector are passionate about what they do and the roles they do and the difference they make.
Oh, Alan, you put that beautifully. That's really, really well said. Let's have a look at some of these paid roles that you've got on at the moment. What's on offer?
Well, in our employment and skills service, this is helping other people to find work and get into work, often people who have been unemployed for a long period of time. So we've got advocates in there, skills connectors across Norfolk, so in different locations, supporting one-to-one support to help people get into work, maybe overcoming some challenges that they have, that stopped them getting work in the past, so we help them to overcome that. We also provide a lot of support for carers, people looking after their loved ones. So we have a number of roles in there that in terms of supporting both adult carers and supporting young carers as well. So hugely rewarding roles that give you an opportunity to make a real difference to people's lives here. And also we have what we call life connectors. These are people who are helping people who are struggling with loneliness and isolation, and help them in terms of connecting to their communities and other opportunities for them to get support and overcome their loneliness and isolation that sadly COVID has only increased across our communities in Norfolk.
What an incredible responsibility. And as you say, money can't buy the impact that you can have on people's lives. Tell me about how you got into the service, Alan.
I volunteered for a children's charity helping disabled children, and I used to work in the commercial sector. I used to be a sales and marketing director, but the pay was less, but you go home feeling, wow, what have you done? And sometimes you need a beer at the end of the day, because it can be quite challenging. But you know you're doing something. You can see it every day. You're making a difference, and it goes up and down in terms of emotions. But the vast majority of the time, you feel, wow, you've done something today, this week, this month, this year. So that was 20 years ago, and I've never looked back and never regretted it for a moment. And the many people I work with in Voluntary Norfolk and in other voluntary organisations, they do it because they want to do it, and it gets it. If you've got any compassion or empathy for other people, you enjoy working with people, then come forward, and we've got job opportunities we want you to consider.
And of course, these are the paid roles that we're mentioning today, but there are, of course, voluntary opportunities and benefits for people who want to come and volunteer with you guys.
Oh, absolutely. We have volunteer roles in all those services I mentioned, supporting carers, supporting people lonely and isolated, supporting with welfare and well-being, supporting things like digital support, because a lot of people struggle to be online and therefore can't access many support. Therefore, they can add to their isolation. We have support for volunteers across the NHS, so we have volunteers supporting the vaccination rollout. We also got volunteers working with Norfolk community hospitals and other locations. And sometimes people use those volunteer opportunities to deal with their own issues about wanting to have social interaction, but also learn skills that can then lead to paid roles within those organisations they're supporting as a volunteer.
Yes, and you say it almost like it is a foot in the door, isn't it? In a way.
Absolutely. It was a foot in the door for me, and it's a foot in the door for many people. It gives an opportunity to understand, say, NHS as a volunteer, that we can provide the opportunity to learn and then hopefully decide, yes, this is a career for me, and they can find that opportunity. Or in other areas, in terms of social care or wherever they may be interested, volunteering is a good way to see that tribe. We support, we provide training, we provide the wraparound support that people need as a volunteer to feel they're part of something, that they've got support and they're valued and appreciated, because believe you me, they are. We love volunteers, it's what we do, but we also deliver services through paid staff, so it's making sure they all work well together.
Oh, it does sound really, really good. Well done you, and the whole